guys, Andi here, and I'm here to bring you all things Monday to makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I'm bringing you the Bingo of Shame for March using the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. I have the 16 pan, which looks like this. So if you want to see the look that I'm going to create with this, then let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so if you don't know about Bingo of Shame, hi, welcome. This is a project created by DW at Dub's Beauty Diary and I to use up all of our palettes in our pile of shame that we both had together. I picked the palette on a random wheel spin, and you're to use 5 to 8 shades depending on your comfort and the palette. And if you don't have the palette but you still want to join, you can dupe the vibes of the color story with either other palettes or your singles. You post on the 16th of the month. You hashtag Bingo of Shame. We do have an Instagram if you want to join. Please just message me or DW. We can get you in on that. And otherwise, that is it for the normal project. But I do have some things that I want to talk to you guys about before we get into the look, because very, very exciting. So, like I've said, this month's palette is the Beauty Bay Earthy palette, which here, let me show you this one more time. So you could have used the 9 pan, I have the 16 pan, or the 42 pan to take inspiration from, to either use or dupe, what have you. This is going to be our last Bingo of Shame for this round. For April, it's going to just be DW and I doing the rest of the palettes that are in our wheel currently. We will be making a look, so stay tuned for that. I don't normally do looks with several different palettes. Like, it's one thing for me to do a look with a palette and bring in a couple single shadows. But to do a look with 8 palettes, and we're picking one shade from each palette, it's gonna be wild for April. But after that, we will be restructuring during April to bring you guys round 2 starting in May. So, next month in April, I will be able to give you all of the details for Bingo of Shame round 2. But I just wanted to tell you the little bit that we have right now. Round 2 is going to have more community involvement, and we are very excited to share those details soon. You can message me or DW to get in on our Instagram, because that's where you get all of the information first and sooner. But like I said, you don't gotta. It's okay. So yeah, if you want to get in on that, if you want to be part of that community involvement to determine what palettes we will be using in the future and how round 2 is going to go, then do that. Otherwise, stay tuned for the very interesting April palette bingo for just DW and I on April 16th. But that is all the other information that is neither here nor there, so we can get into today's, which is for March. Which, at first, I was very upset because January. I'm so sick. I can't remember. Yeah, January's Bingo of Shame was the Beauty Babe Midnight palette. And so this month being the Earthy, I was like, man, we skipped 1 month and have another Beauty Babe palette. So originally I was not excited, but St. Patrick's Day and we got a beautiful green palette. That is good. I am very excited about that. So, like I did just mention, I am still extremely sick. It keeps getting worse. Don't know what I'm sick with. Love that for me. So, if I sound a little nasally, I'm going to try to do my best to cut out any sneezing, coughing, anything icky like that. But please just bear with me. And I also only have so many sweaters and long sleeve shirts, so I'm sorry. Please just bear with me. I am in a prime. I'm currently using the Julep eyeshadow stick in Desert Matte. I'm thinking, because I never went to Ready Care, So I'm thinking I might do that this weekend because I'm getting headaches at like the base of my skull. And that ain't never happened before. And mind you, I suffer from headaches. Well, like I suffer from migraines. Like I'm on medication. I'm about to start infusions for my migraines because they're so chronic. So to suddenly have a headache at the base of my skull, I feel like is a problem. And like my neck hurts. It's not quite stiff because I know when you Google it, it's like, haha, you have meningitis. Go to your emergency room. But like I've had meningitis once and it's not this. So, but I still think I should probably go to my Ready Care. I have called my doctor several times. No call back. So, there's that. That's why I'm saying Ready Care, because I really don't want to have to go to the emergency room. So, I did pre-roll for my numbers because I just didn't want to have to do that with you guys. So sorry, being sick. But I'm doing 8 numbers. Normally, I don't do that many, but I figured it's a 16-pan palette. Let's just do 8 numbers, get half the palette done for me, so that when I use this palette again, I only have to use the other half of the palette. So, the very first number we rolled was number 16, which is Palm. And it's this dark, like, grungy gold, which is very pretty. Then we rolled in shade number 5, which is, my god, I can't read the shade names, Shamrock. The shade names are in silver, and so with my lights, they are kind of hard to read. Wow, that is an intense green. I didn't think that was going to be that bright. Jesus. All right. Then we rolled in shade number 3, which is Satellite, which is an interesting shimmer. It's also like a grungy, greeny, like champagne-y gold. That one's interesting. Then we rolled in shade 12, which is the shade Pine. And when I was rolling these in, I was like, ooh, I got a really good degree of mattes to shimmers. So there's our first 4. Get off my fingers. Then we rolled in shade number 1, which is actually pretty great. That's fresh. So I'm going to actually set my lid with that as soon as we're done putting these on my hand. Then we rolled in 15. 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Which is Pickle. I love pickles. And Ian doesn't, so anytime we go anywhere, I get his pickles. I love that tone. And the thing is, and the reason he still gets pickles on stuff is because he likes the flavor of, like, pickle juice on, like, his burgers, but he doesn't actually like pickles. I hope that makes sense. So then we got the shade 14, which is Kava. Which, ooh, that one's sparkly. Like, the other 2 are very metallic, but this one has sparkles in it. Not glitters, sparkles. And the last shade we got was shade 10. 4, 8, 9, 10. Which is Acid. Ain't never done acid. We're not going to talk about drugs. Ugh. I think that's a really nice color story, to be wholesale honest with you. I got 4 mattes, I got 4 shimmers. Couldn't have asked for a better breakdown than that, to be wholesale honest with you. But yeah, Ian doesn't like the texture of pickles. So I'm going to start with, I'm not going to try to read you these names again because I literally can't see them unless I go like this and get the light to bounce off the shades. So I'm going to go in with this light shade here, and we're just going to set my... eye. So today, the day that I'm filming this, because I'm filming this super early, because today is mine and Ian's 5-year anniversary. Yay! Claps. So that is super fun. And so I asked him, mind you, this man picks out my makeup almost every day anyway. Well, and when I say pick out my makeup, like, I don't just mean like, oh, he comes over and he grabs a palette. Like, he'll pick out a palette and then I'll be like, okay, well, what blush? Because he's an artist. So then I'll be like, okay, well, what blush tone? And he'll come and pick out a blush. And I'll be like, okay, well, now what highlight? Like, he's very involved in picking out what makeup I wear for the day, which I love that so much because he used to not. So, but I asked him, I was like, what is your favorite color that you like to see me wear? I'm now going to go into this green, which I believe was, yeah, that's acid. And he was like, I really liked when you wore green the other day for the Super Bowl because I did a look for the Eagles because he was an Eagles fan. Very happy that the Eagles won, by the way. And so I said, okay, well, I looked in my drawer of palettes that I have to work on. And the only green palette that I'm currently working on is this one for the Bingo of Shame. So I was just like, well, it's super early to film this, but if my man wants a green look I shall give him. And I'm very excited to see how I like this palette because right now I'm very torn on how I feel about the Beauty Bay formula. Because when I used the Midnight palette for the January palette bingo, did not like it. I didn't like how the mattes performed, I didn't like the shimmers, didn't like anything about it. But then I used the Dark Fantasy palette. I loved that one so much. And I said 4 and 4. I have 5 mattes and 3 shimmers. I've been sleeping so much. Ugh. It's awful. I'm now going to go into... I think I'm going to go into the really, really bright green, which that was Shamrock, I believe. I think I'm going to need more brushes to be wholesale honest with you. I might need you, I might need you, I might need you. Okay. So, actually, let's use this one. Shamrock. Oh. But yeah, unfortunately, Ian has to work today. So we're not really doing much today for our anniversary. We are making a really nice dinner. We went to Walmart, and now in their deli, they have, like, cool new food. Like, it's not just sandwiches. And so we got a thing of teriyaki chicken thighs, and then... that was acid. And then we got carrots and a zesty citrus glaze. And that's what we're making for dinner when he gets home from work. I'm gonna try to have it started for him, but with me being sick, who knows? He does most of the cooking, honestly, and it's not that I can't cook. When we first got together, I did all of the cooking. But then as my disability slowly got worse, he just slowly took over all of the cooking. Now I'm going to go into the pukey brown, the pukey green. My lord, I swear. On everything that is holy. So now I will say, compared to the Midnight palette, these mattes are gorgeous. Oh, my eyeball hurts so bad. Putting these brushes into the socket of my eye hurts. Probably shouldn't have done makeup today. But this is my present to Ian. I told him that I would do my makeup today, and so I am doing it. Here we are. Everything else that's on my face, by the way, because I obviously did my face beforehand, will be in the description box. And then last but not least, I'm going to go into that darker green, which was pine. And we're just going to put that guy right there. But we do have something planned for this weekend. We are going to get pizza, because that is Ian's favorite food group. And we're going to watch a movie. It's nothing too exciting, but like, the longer you've been together, you don't have to do something crazy exciting. Plus, I'm sick, and he knows that, so he doesn't, plus, he doesn't like people, so us going out was never on the agenda anyway. I'm taking Pickle, because I really liked this shade. I think that shade is gorgeous. Then I'm going to take Shamrock. Oh, my head. Then I'm going to take Acid. And then I'm going to blend the whole lower lash line out with that light minty shade. Boom. Mattes. Now we go into NYX Glitter Glue. I will say, I wish there was more greeny shimmers, because, like, there's two. And there's the one satin, which I don't like that formula from Beauty Bay. I am very happy. All three shimmers we got are the formula that I like, the more, like, glassy, thin formula. So first I'm going to go into the dark one, which is the dark gold, the last shade in the palette. Oh, my poor eyeball. Oh, that shade is so pretty. And then I'm going to go into, which one do I want on my inner corner? I think I want that one. So I'm going to go into this one. So that's Satellite. And that one has like a cooler undertone. And I love mixing metals, so I am A-okay with that. Oh, those are pretty. And then my inner corner is gonna be Kava. Oh yeah. Because then we're sandwiching that cooler tone in between two warm tone shades. Oh, I think that looks really pretty. Sweet. I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to run off camera, do my other eye. Right now for liner, I've got my NYX Vivid Rich and Quartz Queen, my Well People mascara, and I don't know what I'm going to do for lips yet. So I'll tell you when I come back. But that's going to be it for right this second. But for you, it'll be movie magic, and I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so here's the final look. I mixed a green lipstick and a brown lipstick. They're in the description box. Otherwise, to talk about the palette, I really enjoyed it. The mattes are super blendable. I will say, like, even I'll have to use it with this shade, but I just feel like this mint doesn't feel like it belongs. But it worked. It blended everything out. I don't feel like it looks bad. There wasn't a lot of difference between these two greens, but they were both very pretty. This pickle shade was my favorite. My gorgeous. I loved it. Acid was also pretty nice in tone, but it took a lot of building. The shimmers were beautiful. These shimmers are what I like. When I'm looking at the palette, I see these. So we have this one and this one. Don't look like the same formula, and they look like a more satin. I don't like that Beauty Bay formula. That's what a lot of the midnight shades were like. But this very, like, bright, it's a very thin glass-like shimmer that I love. I had a much better experience with this palette than I did with the midnight palette. Because the thing is, even though I didn't like the shimmer satiny shades that I got, the mattes were an issue in the midnight palette for me, and I didn't have any real issues with this palette. Like, ooh, I had to build this shade up a little bit. I have to build shades up all the time, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I really enjoyed this. I'm absolutely excited to use this one again, and I think the look came out really, really pretty. And it's giving St. Patrick's Day, the green and the gold. So I think we did a good job here. And I can't wait to see everyone's looks. I can't wait to show you guys what we're doing in April. And then to be able to talk more about what will be coming for May. So yeah, there's no wheel spin. But because I'm not even going to show you all the palettes. You're just going to have to find out in April all of the palettes that we're using to create our look with. So otherwise, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.